How's it going? All right. I've just made a couple of brand new videos about servicing guitars, so my blue Lapsteel's in for a real treat, I tell ya. In the first video, I'm going to make a brand new nut. I actually tried to get one online, but it didn't quite work out, as you'll see. And in the second video, I show you how to change volume pot on an electric guitar. So I'll show you how to access the pot, the unsoldering of it, and what type of pot you can use to replace it. And finally, with the Lapsteel totally serviced, I can actually get to try it out. So I'm going to play it through a pair of stereo amps, through of course the wah pedal, and then I'll even show you the record setup that I'm using. Servicing a Lapsteel Part 1, here we go. I'm going to change the nut on my blue Artisan, the Lapsteel guitar, because it really needs a change. When I bought the Lapsteel, it came with a wooden nut. What happens is the strings keep slipping out of the side grooves of the nut. So I really want to get a metal replacement. So I've gone online and checked on the website to see if I could find a nut. Now there's quite a few sites in the States, but as far as UK and Europe go, very few companies. I managed to find one on eBay. Now they said the spacing was 3/8, about 10mm, but they're not 3/8, they're 7/16, which is 12mm spacing. So the bridge I bought is too wide, as you can see. I was going to get one from America, but I really don't want to wait the 2 or 3 weeks that it's going to take. I want to play it now, and I know that I can do a good job anyway. It's quite a simple component to make. So I've gone down to B&Q earlier on, and I bought myself a bit of brass L-shaped. It's 10mm by 10mm. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut myself a new nut to the right size and file the grooves in the slots. Also, it should sound a lot better. The brass should give me more sustain than the wood did. So I'm going to cut it with a hacksaw. So as you can see, I've got the bridge cut to length. I've got a nice new pack of diamond needle files. They come in loads of different sizes. There's about 8 different files. So I've got a triangular file here, and there's also a sort of knife-shaped file, which is really useful as well. Let's mark out the string slots first. The distance across from the E string to the E string on the old nut was 44mm. But if I make it 45mm, then if you do the maths, I can make each string 9mm apart. The next job is to mark the position of both the E string slots 45mm apart onto the brass. I measured the distance from the ends of the nut to the E string slots, so it's an equal distance from both ends and it's centred. I'm going to actually mark off the 9mm spaces now, and we'll make the nut. So a bit of patience and we'll get there. But it's really enjoyable doing this sort of job. As you can see, I've made these 6 marks at 9mm with my file. That's going to be for the fatty and that's going to be for the thinny. Now I've just got to make the slots a bit bigger and work on it and just take them down a bit in depth. So it doesn't take long. I've been at it 5 minutes. I've done the E, the B, the G and the D. One of the things about the nut that I bought online for £8 is you can see the slots, well they're all the same depth, which is really crap, because the fat E obviously will sit higher up than the thin E, which means the strings will be sloped. You really want to have the grooves different sizes so the strings sit flat and even so you can bar them easily. So I've got a slightly larger groove there that you can fit the tip of the file in there virtually, whereas that one's quite shallow for the thin E, but yeah, progressively larger. So I reckon that's a good start. It basically needs to be fitted to the slide guitar now. And let's drill those 2 holes there so we can mount it up. I've got the 2 screw holes drilled there. I've already got some strings on. Obviously I'm going to change the strings, but let's just try and get the nut in first to see what's going on. So I've only gone down 1/2mm anyway, so there's plenty of room. And of course I've got the files so I can easily correct the depth. Well, that's absolutely pucker at first look. Yeah, the E string needs to go down a hell of a lot more. Don't take too much at one time. Just do a few wipes and see how you go. That's much better. That's sitting down in the groove now. The A string needs a bit of work. Let's just do the same with that. Put a slope on the back. Maybe that D just needs a little 45-degree chamfer on the back of it again. Yes, looking bloody good now. If you look down the guitar from there, you can see if the strings are sitting flat. See what I'm saying? That's looking really cool. The spacing's all bang on. And there it is, folks. It's done. Oh, it sounds really different. And like I said, it's really satisfying working on your own guitars, you know, because it gives you a personal attachment with them. That's what it's all about. They're personal things. They're like girlfriends or wives, you know, or mothers. They're like dear to you, you know. So treat them with love and they'll love you back. And you'll be playing better for it. It's got a much ringier sound. So you can hear this. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? It sounds good. It sounds really cool. Hey, there you go, my new brass nut on my bluey. Oh, and it looks cool, the golden nugget. Great stuff. Sorted.